Excerpt from The Crowned Craziness of His Majesty's Matrimonial Fancy, play written by Tasmin Jahan. Scene 1. It is the early 1950s. The Quiet Island Palace. It is a huge, old, and tired-looking building. The middle-aged king of Quiet Island is well presented and handsome. Today, he is in his chambers, sitting at his bureau, admiring some photographs. The furniture within the room looks worn. The once beautiful period decor is in need of restoration. He smiles to himself as he closely examines each photograph. His moment of contentment is disrupted by Nathaniel. Nathaniel is the king's lawyer. He is in his early 30s and smartly dressed. He appears anxious. On hearing a firm knock on the door, the king's contentment turns to agitation.
Your Majesty, I am so sorry to disturb you.
Then don't.
Your Majesty, it is very important.
Is it about Humphrey? Is he feeling better now?
Your Majesty, the delegates are here.
Let them wait.
They've been waiting for an hour.
So?
How long should they wait?
Is it very, very, very important?
The delegates are here to discuss our nation's part in the renewed treaty. By agreeing to be part of this treaty, it will greatly help with intergovernmental alliances concerning our nation's security.
Quiet Island is still pondering over that proposal.
But you haven't heard the whole proposal, Your Majesty. The delegates have updated some of the information.
Humphrey didn't sleep last night.
I am sorry to hear that.
I hope he's not in too much pain.
I'm sure he will be fine.
Maybe we cut his nails too soon. We should have waited.
Maybe.
You know how much I love Humphrey. When Humphrey is troubled, I feel unsettled as well.
Your Majesty, llamas are quite resilient animals. I am sure Humphrey will recover.
I hope so.
Now, about the delegates.
As I'm getting married soon, what are their thoughts on monogamy then?
Pardon?
Well, do you know?
I don't know, Your Majesty.
Then why are you still standing here?
Does that mean I have to ask?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes.
But
no buts.
Your Majesty, the delegates have been waiting to discuss.
It's a simple question, Nathaniel.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Just ask what they feel and come back with a response.
The most pertinent question here, Your Majesty, is...
The one with the big glasses and the shoulder twitch. Is he here?
I wasn't thinking of that question.
Is he here?
There is someone with big glasses, but I didn't notice a shoulder twitch.
If I noticed it, surely you would have.
Your Majesty, I honestly did not notice the shoulder twitch.
You're scared of them, aren't you? I can see it in your face. And you call yourself a lawyer. Ha!
I am not scared. I am concerned that we are running late.
How dare they insult me like this and turn up assuming that nothing has happened?
Oh, you mean the letter?
They accuse me of neglecting my own country. That is most inconsiderate and demeaning. It was a direct challenge to my authority as head of state.
They did not say that exactly.
Nathaniel, I have faith in you.
Yes.
I have every faith that you will ask the delegates my question about monogamy and report back.
It is a strange question.
Do you want me to replace you?
Of course not, Your Majesty.
Then practice.
Sorry?
Practice asking the question.
I fear that...
Get on with it. The delegates are waiting.
So I am asking, what are your thoughts on monogamy?
Good. Now off you go.
I have a very bad feeling about this meeting.
Now what are you muttering about?
The thing is...
This is very important to me, Nathaniel. I am preparing for my next wedding. Once Humphrey is well, everything will be fine.
But the delegates do not wish to discuss your 5th wedding preparations.
I am the king of Quiet Island. And if I want to discuss my 5th wedding preparations, then I will talk about my 5th wedding preparations. I am very much looking forward to it, and I will not allow anyone to ruin this joyous occasion. Is that clear?
Very clear.
Where's Lawrence? I should be having this conversation with Lawrence. He is more understanding of my personal needs than you are.
Your Majesty, I profusely apologize. I do not wish to hurt your feelings.
I will wait.
For what, Your Majesty?
Please summon Lawrence.
After speaking to Lawrence, will you meet with the delegates?
I will speak to Lawrence first, and then I will see how I feel.
The delegates will be very disappointed.
I am already disappointed.
I will tell them that you need more time.
I need to check on Humphrey.
Your Majesty, I hope that my asking Lawrence to bring you to the Golden Room to speak to the delegates after your meeting with him will be fine.
Get out!
With annoyance, Nathaniel hurriedly exits. The king looks away as he awaits Lawrence's arrival. Scene 2. The king is at his bureau. He's busy looking at another photograph. He looks at it with fondness. Lawrence walks into the king's chamber, clears his throat, and bows his head. He's a well-dressed young man. He's the king's personal assistant. He's a simple and very polite person. The king quickly puts down the photograph and smiles at him as he is happy to see him.
Your kind Majesty.
Oh, Lawrence, thank goodness you're here. Did you see the photographs?
I looked at the first photograph, Your Majesty.
What about the second photograph?
Well, now.
She's absolutely beautiful, isn't she?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Why didn't you look at the second photograph?
I lost the second photograph.
What?
I left the room because I heard a noise coming from the balcony.
A noise? Did you see anyone?
I didn't see anyone.
So what was the noise?
I have no idea, Your Majesty.
That was very strange.
Well, as I couldn't see anyone on the balcony, I returned to my desk, and suddenly there was only one photograph.
You must find it, Lawrence.
Yes, Your Majesty.
So what do you think? She'll make an excellent queen, won't she?
What are your thoughts, Your Majesty? They are most important.
I think she's absolutely divine. I am the luckiest king alive.
I agree.
And Elise will make a splendid wife.
Yes, she will.
She's young.
She is.
She is bright.
She is, yes.
I am very excited that her family agreed to this great union.
Yes, of course.
Lawrence, I cannot stop thinking about her.
That is wonderful.
I had a dream last night. It was a radiant day. I was so happy walking in the gardens with Annalise. We were walking hand in hand. She gave me such a heartwarming smile.
Oh, how delightful.
But my moments of joy were short-lived, as my 4 other wives decided to walk up behind us. I was furious. I shouted at them, and because I raised my voice, Annalise began to cry. It ended up being a terrible dream. I woke up in a cold sweat. It has certainly affected my mood this morning.
Oh, that is a terrible dream.
I made my darling Annalise cry. I feel as though I should be punished for this awful act of unkindness.
Was just a dream, Your
I
Majesty.
don't want to talk about it anymore. It makes me feel rather uncomfortable now.
Your Majesty, Nathaniel said it's very important that I see you right now.
Nathaniel wants me to meet with the delegates.
Yes, he told me.
I think the delegates are making fun of me.
Oh?
Do they know who I am? I'm the king of this fine island.
Indeed.
I am the law. If I say do it, they must listen. If they break the law, they must face the consequences. It's a careless and harmful act to ridicule the king of Quiet Island.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Those delegates should be punished, don't you think?
Well,
Spit it out. Just tell me what you're thinking, Lawrence.
your thread has arrived. It was delivered early this morning.
Oh, that is good news. Annalise will be pleased.
Yes.
I cannot wear that bronze tunic again with the old thread. I wore it at my last wedding.
The seamstress was delighted with your Metler silk finish cotton thread. Your new tunic will be ready by tomorrow evening, sir.
I might have a few wrinkles here and there, but once I wear that organza tunic, I'll be the most handsome king alive.
Also, your mother had a few questions.
Lawrence, I have a reputation to maintain. Therefore, I cannot talk to my mother.
Yes, Your Majesty.
After dinner last night, she was trying to put ideas into my head. And
Suddenly, the king's mother emerges. She is in her 70s. She is very well presented. The king is irritated by this sudden intrusion. Lawrence remains still. The king's mother urgently addresses them.
I said to you yesterday, Groggy.
Mother, I've asked you many times to stop calling me that.
I know, and I've repeatedly retorted that Groggy is a very sweet and endearing name for my only son, who was born with a rather tired and ugly expression.
Mother, why are you here?
I thought you had called for me.
I did not.
Oh, must have been something in the air then.
Lawrence and I were in the middle of a conversation.
Your Highness.
Did you consider what I said to you last night?
The fact of the matter is, I did not bother listening to you, Mother. It was rather boring.
What a surprise.
As I was in the middle of a private conversation, please kindly leave us, Mother.
No.
Please.
I said no.
I will not listen.
You will not get married again.
Lawrence, as we were discussing,
Cancel it.
once my tunic is ready, please bring it to me so that I can examine it closely. It has to be absolutely perfect for the wedding.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Mother, have you decided what you're going to wear?
The wedding must not take place. Don't you realize that you're a laughingstock?
What utter nonsense.
I want you to get a grip.
Your Majesty, may
Be
I?
quiet, Lawrence.
I don't think red or pink are quite your colors, so please aim for something different this time.
I will not be wearing anything for the wedding because there isn't going to be a wedding.
That's the most shocking behavior for a member of the royal family. Why would you not wear anything to my wedding? You cannot appear naked.
This is my last warning.
Mine too. I am the king of Quiet Island, and I do not have to listen to your perpetual negativity surrounding my wedding plans. Annalise is the love of my life.
For the moment.
And I will wed her and bring her to the palace. She will be the best wife yet.
Groggy, this time things will be different. I'm going to see Odette.
I don't care.
Do not underestimate her spiritual powers.
Odette is a pathetic and unreliable clairvoyant who makes things up as she goes along. She's not psychic, she's a troublemaker.
She is not a troublemaker.
I am going to get married for the 5th time, and you and the nation will watch in awe. That is final. Lawrence, please take my mother away.
Yes.
Lawrence will do no such thing. Mark my word, Odette is the only one who can save this kingdom from further ruin.
With fury, Mother exits the king's chambers. The king looks on with astonishment. Lawrence remains quiet.
Excerpt from The Crowned Craziness of His Majesty's Matrimonial Fancy, play written by Tasmin Jahan. Scene 3. Set in the 1950s, the Quiet Island Palace. Selina, the king's first wife, storms into the king's chambers. She has an angry expression on her face. She is in her late 40s, very well dressed. The king is going through some papers, but is distracted by a picture of Annalise. She clears her throat and waits. The king looks up. He's pleased to see her.
Your Majesty.
Selina, how lovely to see you again. How are you?
This is about Annalise. We have devised a plan.
What kind of plan?
Murder.
Murder?
Yes. All 4 of us detest these 5th wedding preparations, so we have decided to take action.
You're all planning to murder each other because I'm getting married to Annalise?
No, all four of us are planning to murder Annalise.
Have you gone mad?
It appears that you are.
I am the king of Quiet Island. I am not mad. I'm perfectly sane and I can do whatever I please.
Mother and I are of the same view. If you do not cancel this wedding, there will be bloodshed. Lawrence is aware of this.
Is this about sex?
What?
I know it's been a while, but I promise to make it up to you.
This warning is not due to the lack of sexual activity in our lives. This is about Annalise.
We could do it now.
No, thank you.
I have a couple of hours before my next dull meeting, so while I'm waiting, you can liven up the sheets. What do you think?
Impossible.
I'm very happy to do whatever you want me to do. So tell me, it's tops first or bottoms?
Please stop this idiotic behavior.
I'm trying to help you relax.
Why aren't you taking me seriously?
Fine, the moment's over.
It's usually quite quick with you.
Why do you have to be so nasty?
I'm talking about murder here, and you're just going on about taking your pants off.
If you murder Annalise, you'll be hanged.
Then don't marry her.
You're beginning to sound like Mother.
Lawrence said you shouldn't marry her either.
Lawrence would never utter such a thing.
I heard him say it to Nathaniel.
Stop making things up.
I'm not.
Do you want me to let Humphrey loose on you?
What difference will that make?
Humphrey did not sleep well last night. He's ready to attack almost anyone.
Humphrey has nothing to do with Annalise.
Humphrey knows that I'm getting married, and Humphrey approves of Annalise.
Humphrey is just a pesky llama.
Excuse me? Humphrey is a member of this royal family.
There is no more room in this palace for another wife and more children. In total, you have 4 wives and 13 children. We have our daily needs. Sometimes we struggle. Other times we manage. With Annalise joining us, it will tip us over the edge.
I strongly disagree.
Annalise is almost the same age as our son.
I don't see a problem with that.
What if Annalise and our son become close? What if that closeness takes her away from you?
What on earth does that mean?
We have to draw the line somewhere.
Annalise is a lovely, bright young lady. She wouldn't do that to me.
Give it time. She will. You're too old for her.
That is outrageous.
You're old enough to be her father.
Don't say that.
Soon she'll get bored of you and she'll move on.
Annalise will take good care of me. I trust her.
What if Annalise hates Humphrey?
She wouldn't.
Have you asked her?
Not yet.
I hope Humphrey hates the sight of her.
Do you want me to lock you up and throw away the key?
What if you were to wake up one morning and find that Humphrey is no longer on the farm?
No. Humphrey is not the real enemy here. Leave my precious Humphrey alone.
Humphrey deserves a better king.
I've heard enough. How dare you threaten the king of Quiet Island? Please go back to your quarters right now and prepare to welcome Annalise.
Why aren't you listening to me?
Why aren't you listening to me?
You will regret this.
Selina angrily exits. The king looks on with despair as he puts away the photograph of Annalise. Scene 4. The king's mother is disguised as a local civilian. She has a shawl over her head. She cautiously walks into Odette's room. Odette is a local clairvoyant. She is elderly and wears a long, dark-colored gown. Her room has a charming and mystical feel about it. Odette is sitting up straight with her eyes closed, quietly chanting mantras. She is seated in front of a round table with her hands placed on top of some black and blue amulets. Mother watches her closely. Suddenly, Odette opens her eyes and spots Mother.
Stop there.
It's me.
I don't know anyone called me.
It's Groggy's mother.
Groggy's mother?
Remember? That's the password.
Oh, yes, yes. I remember now.
I did say that I would come by this hour to pick up the amulets.
You're too early.
Where are they then?
Right under my palms.
Are they ready to use on Groggy?
Just need another mantra for optimum protection. This will guarantee success.
Go ahead.
Please sit down quietly.
With intrigue, Mother sits down at the table in front of Odette. Odette closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. She exhales and inhales in a strange manner. Odette picks up each amulet and holds them in her hand as she quietly recites another mantra. She lightly blows on each amulet and puts it in front of Mother. Again, she takes a deep breath, then opens her eyes. She smiles at Mother. Odette picks up all 5 amulets and hands them to her.
They are ready now. Please make sure you apply them carefully.
Well, thank you.
If you leave them redundant for more than 24 hours, the power of the mantra will diminish and powerful spirits will switch.
Switch to what?
It's best that we do not speak of that right now. I don't want to attract any negative spiritual energy.
Well, fine. So why are you giving me 5 amulets?
Is that a problem?
I thought you were going to give me 7.
Why 7?
7 amulets for 7 days.
For what you are planning to do, you will only need 5.
Well, Groggy is stubborn, you know. 5 may not be enough.
The mantra for each amulet are quite potent. As long as you place one of the amulets on the king, the spiritual force of the other amulets will run through it. They will ward off his evil and unsavory thoughts and replace them with better thoughts, thus giving you all the control.
So you're saying by the end of the week that he will hate getting married again?
Of course.
What is the optimum hour to apply the amulet?
The optimum hour is before sunset.
Right.
You must be discreet.
Yes, I'll talk to Selena.
Pretend that you've changed your mind about the wedding. If he asks, say that it's for Annalise's benefit. Say that the amulets will protect her against any evil spirits.
Oh, fine. I will have to do that to get the amulet on him. Also, could we do something with Humphrey?
Who's Humphrey?
Humphrey is his pet llama. Oh, if Humphrey continues to be ill leading up to the wedding, then Groggy will definitely delay the wedding. This will give us enough time to change the course of history. Naturally, I'm happy to pay you more.
I will find a mantra for the pet llama. Please wait.
Odette closes her eyes again and sways her head from left to right and takes another deep breath. Then she hangs her head. There's a short silence. Mother becomes worried.
Odette? Odette!
Stop!
Sorry.
I need more time.
Why?
The llama mantra isn't coming to me right now.
Well, please try again.
There seems to be some sort of obstruction.
Obstruction?
Yes.
I am a desperately unhappy mother with a polygamous son. Please try harder.
Again, Odette closes her eyes and sways her head from left to right and makes some funny humming type noises, and then stops. She becomes silent.
Well?
There's a conflict. Annalise keeps appearing next to the llama. The mantra isn't right there.
So what now?
Well, unfortunately, you'll have to wait a little longer.
Why?
I cannot work on an empty stomach.
So what should I do?
Leave.
I can't leave now.
Come back tomorrow. The neurons need nourishment.
But I'm the king's mother.
If you continue to pressure me, the mantras will backfire.
Please note that I am not pressuring you. I'm simply asking you.
Duly noted.
It is your duty to serve me, to serve your country.
I have served you already. You have 5 amulets.
In that case, please return the photograph.
Which photograph?
The photograph of Annalise. I gave you the photograph in confidence.
Ah, yes,
Well, you must find it. I had to take that photograph from another person's possession without their knowledge.
My assistant will have a look.
And are you sure I can't wait to finish the Lama mantra?
The Lama mantra should come to me after my dinner.
Well, I sincerely hope so.
Wait,
What is it?
I think the mantra is coming to me now.
Really?
Did you want Annalise to turn into a llama instead?
With exasperation, Mother shakes her head at Odette. Odette looks on with bemusement. End of excerpt.
The Crowned Craziness of His Majesty's Matrimonial Fancy, play written by Tasmin Jahan. Scene 9, set in the 1950s, at the Quiet Island Palace. Mother, Selina, the king's first wife, and Sonia, the king's second wife, are gathered in Mother's chamber. They are in the middle of a serious conversation. Mother looks very concerned. Mother and Selina are close. Sonia usually copies Selina.
Another humiliation.
Yes, but if you really think about it, it has turned out better than expected.
Yes, it has turned out better than expected, although...
Well, how can you say that? My son wants to marry a llama instead of Annalise now? Oh, how utterly ridiculous.
And hilarious. Poor Annalise.
If it hadn't fallen off his wrist, Humphrey wouldn't have swallowed the bloody amulet.
It's strange that he didn't choke to death.
Unless it was deliberate.
Perhaps it wasn't deliberate. Perhaps this was the answer to our prayers.
Well, this complicates everything. Why did Humphrey have to swallow that amulet?
Must have been hungry.
Maybe the amulet was very tasty?
This is so unfair and frustrating.
Llamas are weird animals.
Surely Annalise should see it as a blessing in disguise. She doesn't need to marry an old, arrogant, and selfish man anymore. She can do far better than that.
Selina, please?
It's the truth.
Yes, I think she should see it as a blessing in disguise too, but...
I couldn't get a hold of Odette.
Apparently, she has left town.
Yes, she's left town because...
She will have to go to prison for this monumental blunder.
Well, she should have stayed and corrected her mistake.
Mother, did you tell her to leave town?
Mother, did you?
No, I didn't. The local villagers must have told her to leave.
So what now? Are we supposed to prepare for the king and Humphrey's wedding?
I don't know how to prepare for the king and Humphrey's wedding.
Well, perhaps Odette's assistant can help.
That is, if she's not fled already.
Well, I'm desperate. There's got to be someone out there that can help us.
But who would you summon from the village? We only have a day left before the wedding.
Yes, we do have a day left, but I know someone who could help.
Oh, who?
Lawrence can help us. He knows Odette.
Well, I wasn't aware of this.
I wasn't aware until I overheard Lawrence telling Nathaniel about it.
So Nathaniel knows too?
If Lawrence knows where Odette is right now, she could come over before the wedding and break the curse.
Then why are we still here? Let's get on with it.
The children are very confused about their father wanting to marry a llama.
Yes, they're very confused. My daughter asked if this was legal.
It is simply the crowned craziness of His Majesty's matrimonial fancy. Hopefully it will blow over.
With annoyance, Mother exits. Selina and Sonia smile at each other as they follow her out. It is late evening on the farm. The king is in high spirits as he strokes Humphrey's head. Humphrey appears content. The king has a drink in the other hand. Lawrence, his personal assistant, cautiously approaches him.
Your Majesty, it is getting late.
For what?
You must freshen up and prepare for dinner.
I know, but Humphrey, the love of my life, won't eat indoors. So we'll have to take dinner out here.
The temperature is falling.
Humphrey's fine out here. Or were you going to prepare one of the spare rooms for him?
Your Majesty, you will fall ill if you continue to stay out here on the farm. Plus, Miss Anneliese is here to see you. She has been waiting a while to speak to you.
Tell her to go home.
But, Your Majesty...
Humphrey has saved me from a grave mistake.
Miss Anneliese is very upset.
So am I.
Miss Anneliese would really like to speak to you. It's very important.
Tell her to come out here then.
She would rather you come indoors, Your Majesty.
Lawrence, I am the King of Quiet Island, and I demand that Anneliese comes down here and greets me politely and understands very clearly that she lost out to Humphrey for a reason.
Have you been drinking a lot, Your Majesty?
Humphrey said I could.
You must not drink too much, Your Majesty. Think of your health.
Lawrence, stop mothering me. I'm sick of it.
What would you like me to say to Miss Anneliese?
Tell her she is welcome to attend the wedding and bless both Humphrey and I on our auspicious day.
Was there anything else?
I don't love her.
Yes, Your Majesty.
I love only Humphrey.
Yes, Your Majesty.
And everyone should accept Humphrey as my fifth wife.
Your Majesty, isn't there a law against marrying animals within this island?
Humphrey is not an animal. He is family.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Who made that law anyway?
You did.
Oh. Then I need to abolish it. Get Nathaniel on this.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Humphrey has feelings. He has a heart. He loves me and I love him back. I cannot live without him. He is my future.
This does not bode well for the kingdom of Quiet Island.
You're beginning to sound like Nathaniel and Mother.
Your Majesty, I apologize, but we have to sort this out with rational minds.
I am the most rational person I know.
Please, could you kindly reconsider and come back into the palace? Miss Anneliese is rather distressed.
Then Humphrey has to come with me.
How about you going first, and then I bring Humphrey along?
But Humphrey is comfortable out here.
I'll talk to him.
Right.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Will Mother be present?
It is a private conversation between Your Majesty and Miss Anneliese.
That means Mother will be listening.
You have my firm assurance that Mother will not be present.
Humphrey doesn't like her. It could get rather awkward.
Your Majesty, just before you go, there is something else.
What is it?
Humphrey spoke to me yesterday about the wedding.
He never told me that.
He was very concerned. He was spitting a lot.
About what?
The living arrangements.
He knows there's plenty of room for him.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Then there is no problem. Let's go.
Humphrey has a lot of relatives.
Then invite them to the wedding.
Of course we can do that, but most of them are in South America.
South America?
Yes, Your Majesty. How can we get the invitations to South America at such short notice?
That's for you and Nathaniel to figure out.
But Your Majesty, you do you not understand that by going ahead with the wedding in 2 days' time and not having Humphrey's relatives present, it will deeply hurt his feelings?
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Your Majesty, for Humphrey's sake, Please, could we delay the wedding? We all want this wedding to be very special.
Lawrence, you are my savior. Let's delay the wedding, invite all of Humphrey's South American relatives first, and then we'll go on from there.
Your Majesty, you are truly divine for allowing this postponement.
I am the King of Quiet Island, and everything is possible when I say so.
Indeed, Your Majesty.
Humphrey's relatives are my relatives too. The more the merrier. Now let us go down and speak to Annalise and tell her that she simply cannot compete with Humphrey.
The king merrily marches off, and Lawrence hurriedly follows. Scene 11, inside the king's chamber. The king confronts Annalise. Annalise, in her 20s, very well dressed, is already upset.
Have you seen what you're up against?
Who's done this to you? I want to know.
Done what? You're beginning to sound idiotic.
My tears are idiotic to you?
Have you seen Humphrey?
No.
Then clearly you don't know what you're talking about.
I love you.
I love Humphrey.
He is just a llama.
How dare you? He's definitely more than just a llama.
That's all I see.
Then you have evil eyes.
I thought I was the love of your life. I thought you could not live without me. I thought I was going to be the missing piece to your heart.
But Humphrey's my soulmate.
You said that I was your soulmate.
Annalise, respect. You're really making no sense.
Your Majesty, you're crazy.
Ooh, is this what jealousy looks like?
I am not jealous.
Humphrey's a far better creature than you'll ever be. He is sweet and gentle. He makes these wonderful humming sounds when relaxing. It's absolutely beautiful.
Why are you so obsessed with Humphrey? I can't figure it out.
After you've calmed down, you are welcome to attend the wedding.
I will attend the wedding as your bride.
As my bride? You are dreaming, Annalise.
I've made so many arrangements. Our family has gone through so much trouble in making sure that everything is perfect for our big day.
I am happy to pay for their trouble.
It's not about the money.
Nathaniel will pay for your losses.
I don't want your money. I want to be your wife as promised.
You're out of control.
No, you are out of control, Your Majesty.
I do not appreciate this tone.
I will love you more than Humphrey.
I don't believe you.
I'll do whatever it takes.
But I do not wish to marry you.
This is my wedding too, you know.
I can't marry you as well as Humphrey. Don't you know that three's a crowd?
I want to marry you now.
Are you having some sort of breakdown?
Your Majesty, I love you.
So you are having a breakdown.
Therefore, you must choose.
This isn't a game.
You've made it a game.
I'll send you to prison.
I haven't done anything wrong.
Are you a witch?
I am not a witch.
You're a witch. It all makes sense now.
Your Majesty, I am not a witch.
I knew you would say that.
This is ridiculous.
You are ridiculous. I think you should leave now. You've wasted a lot of my time.
No.
For your information, the wedding has been postponed because Humphrey's relatives need more time to prepare for the wedding.
Humphrey's relatives?
Lawrence said they're in South America.
Your Majesty, I wish to speak to Humphrey.
He doesn't like you.
But he's never met me before.
It's no use talking to Humphrey.
Humphrey has just ruined my life. I need to talk to him.
Over my dead body.
Are you scared that he'll fall in love with me and ditch you? After all, I am young and beautiful and you are not.
That would never happen.
Oh.
You can't take Humphrey away from me.
I will not stand for this rejection.
You can't leave this room until I tell you to.
You've lost your mind, Your Majesty. You need help.
Correction. I am of sound mind. Therefore, you are a witch.
Annalise angrily exits the room, leaving the king in a bit of a quandary. Scene 12. Selina and Nathaniel, the king's lawyer, are in his office. They are discussing the next course of action given the king's revelation. Nathaniel feels uneasy. Selina appears a little flirtatious.
I can't do it.
Of course you can.
I think it's a very bad idea.
The King of Quiet Island has lost his marbles, and you're sitting here doing nothing.
I resent that comment. I'm as concerned as everyone else in this palace.
Then do it.
I cannot deceive His Majesty.
He's a lunatic.
He's unwell. It's a difference.
We are a global laughingstock.
No, it's a temporary situation.
I want you to write that ransom note right now.
I will not participate in this unlawful act.
So you would rather abandon your country to uphold one of your pathetic principles?
It will upset the king.
Only for a short spell.
You want me to kidnap Humphrey, hand him over to another farmer? You want me to send the ransom note demanding that he cancels the wedding altogether?
How hard is that?
Very.
Please, Nathaniel, we are in grave danger of losing our identity as a nation.
There must be some other way.
We will be alienated by other leading governments.
Does Lawrence know about this?
Lawrence is busy looking for Odette.
Does Mother know about this plan?
She has given it her blessing.
But there has to be another way.
Go on then, enlighten me.
Odette. Odette is the answer to our prayers. Let's give Lawrence a chance to find her.
And in the meantime, the humiliation continues. Oh, bravo, Nathaniel.
I can't do this to His Majesty.
And I thought you cared about me.
Pardon?
I thought you cared about me.
I care about the royal household, yes.
Don't lie.
I am not.
I know you like me.
I don't know what else to say.
I know you think about me as well.
I'm sorry that you feel this way.
If you do this for me, there will be a huge reward waiting for you. And I don't mean money.
I need the money.
Please, Nathaniel. For me.
I'm flattered that you think of me this way. However,
Nathaniel, there is no need to be shy.
I finally have a great idea.
What?
I will send a note to the king stating that Humphrey wishes to reunite with his family in South America, and he no longer wants to be part of this royal household.
Do you think he will believe you?
Do you believe me?
Anything is possible.
In that case, if you'll excuse me, I would like to concentrate on this serious letter and get it ready for the king.
To be honest with you, my ransom note idea was better.
Yeah, but this way it's not unlawful.
And there it is.
What?
That sparkle in your eye.
Good day, Your Majesty.
Selina tries to grab a quick kiss, but Mother suddenly bursts into the room. Selina is annoyed and takes a step back. Nathaniel is relieved. Mother urgently addresses them.
Oh, there you are, Selina.
Mother, I was just talking to Nathaniel about.
Well, we don't have time.
What's happened?
Lawrence found Odette.
That's brilliant news.
Except there's a minor setback.
What do you mean?
She's very nervous about breaking the curse and
what?
Has something happened to the king?
It's absolutely awful.
Another blunder, I knew it.
Has something happened to Humphrey?
Annalise and Humphrey are now getting married and the king has fled the scene.
What do you mean, fled the scene?
He left a note.
He can't just leave Quiet Island like that. He's the king.
The king has fled to South America and hopes to find another bride soon. The wedding ceremony is still taking place, but between Annalise and Humphrey.
What has Odette done? What a mess.
I was hoping that she would change the course of history, but not like this.
Your Majesty.
Oh, that's not the worst part.
What do you mean?
Unfortunately, he has left everything to Humphrey. He has identified as the sole caretaker for this kingdom until he returns with his llama bride from South America.
Absolutely unforgivable.
So I still have a job, but now I must take orders from Humphrey, the llama?
Heartbreaking, isn't it?
This is gonna be devastating for the economy. Oh well. Long live the llama. Long live King Humphrey of Quiet Island.
I'm going to kill Odette.
Mother and Selina burst into tears. Nathaniel comforts mother. Selina hugs Nathaniel.